Okay, I brought this apple in from where I got it the other day in my gifting spot. And I was looking at the bite mark, and I thought, well, that's a pretty wide bite mark, right? And then I thought, well, I think, you know what? Let's just see if that matches up to the banana. And here's the banana that I also took from the gifting spot. And it has, I'm sorry, it has thawed out. I should have gotten this done a couple hours ago, but I had stuff to do, and I didn't realize how fast this banana would thaw out, because this thing was rock freaking solid, sitting outside on my steps for a while. I couldn't believe it. But I just want to show you, look how similar the shape and size of the length of the bite is in the banana. This was frozen solid when they tried to eat it, and so they just made a little scuff out of the, you know, and you've seen it on previous days. I videoed it, but they just barely could get into it because it was frozen solid by the time they tried to eat it. So they just bit the outside of the banana, like they bit right through the peel, and there was just a bite mark out of it. And then same with the apple. This was frozen rock solid when they tried to eat it. And so to even skim the surface that much I mean, this thing was frozen way harder than the freezer freezes food, because it was like, you know, like 10 degrees at night here when this was sitting outside. So it was frozen really, really, really hard. Like, we're talking like a rock. And they were still able to bite this much into it. Okay, because look at, I took this bite out of this apple here to see my bite mark compared to this one. And mine was only this wide. This is 2 bites of mine. This is one of my bites. Where that ledge is there. So that is my first bite right there, which is way smaller than this bite. And even when I took 2 bites, I took a second bite to see if it would look like that. It was totally not symmetrical to the first bite. So in my opinion, this is 1 bite. This is 1 bite. And then I thought, hey, let's look at the peanut butter and let's see how big the bite mark is on the peanut butter jar lid. So let's put the string up to that and compare that, because I think it's the same Sasquatch. So let us see. Let's put the string up to the peanut butter. It goes around, around, around. It is very, very, very similar. So with a piece of fruit, you're going to have a little extra width on the sides when you're biting into a peeling than if you're biting into something rock hard with no give to it, right? Look how close in size that is. Look at that. It goes right to the edge of the bite mark over here, around to the edge over there, but there's a tiny bit hanging out. Like if you look at my finger width, it's like a little bit with these two, longer than that. But like I said, when you're biting into a piece of fruit, it's kind of like when you make a footprint in the sand or the snow or the mud, your footprint always looks a little bigger than your shoe size. So I've noticed that because I'm always looking for tracks, and I find my own tracks a lot, and I go and say, wow, those are a lot bigger than my foot. But so that's what happens. And so this looks all very much like the same to me, which would be, if this is all 1 bite here, that is a mouth that is twice the width of mine. So we'll see as evidence keeps growing. But I thought that was quite consistent and very interesting.